Morning, good morning.
Great day.
Great day.
How you feeling today?
I'm all right.
I like treating you.
Oh my God. The ups, the downs, the O's, the pounds.
Sheesh. I mean, if you don't get rainstorms,
Yeah, man.
you don't know how to appreciate the sun, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm Mahogany,
I'm Ish.
and this is Culture Currency,
A culture.
is the value.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is gambling the new crack? Like what crack was to the 80s, could gambling possibly be that to the late 2000s?
That's crazy. I mean, I never looked at it that way until you brought up the topic that let's talk about this. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't think about it like that is because I come from a family of gamblers. You know what I mean? That's what we do. That's part of our time together, and that's what my family does. But what's happening now is a little different. It's not just family time. Now that we have online betting, it makes it more accessible to everybody. Like you don't have you don't have to get to a casino. You know what I mean? So that is an issue. But the crack epidemic, that was just so, I mean, we're not going to see people on the corner selling their kids and, all that kind of stuff for gambling, but people are going to lose. People are losing a lot.
So the comparison I'm making is because as somebody of a certain age, I was here for the crack epidemic, right? And we watched whole families turn into chaos, right?
Yep.
We seen desperation take over.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We seen people who already lacked finances using the last of their finances for something that couldn't feed the family. Right? We seen turmoil happen between family members, community members, because of this thing that was in between them.
Right.
And so when I compare the two, I understand that they're different, but I'm speaking
I understand what you're yeah.
Could they have a similar impact?
Right. I mean, I know for one, I definitely did some research on the topic and saw that it's definitely been like 2023 was a record-breaking year for gambling online and in casinos, and 2022 was a record-breaking year. So it's steadily on a rise. 65.5 billion was the record-breaking year for 23. The casinos brought in 50 billion of that, so they still winning, but the online gambling is still bringing in quite a bit. 15 billion is a lot.
And then when you think of lotto, right?
Oh yeah, plus lotto.
Lotto is a form of gambling, right? When I think about how many people in the projects who are already struggling check to check, but make sure they have that little bit to try to win something that's 1 in 300 million chance. I did the research. It's a 1 in 300 million chance. We're constantly.
Let me tell you something. First of all, it's not just the lotto, but it's also and it's the numbers. Because I was addicted to that. You gotta see my phone. I got mad. Yo, one time before I went on vacation, I said, let me play my numbers for the week. I spent 500 on numbers before going to vacation. So you already know that's spending. But so happy that I hit one number and got my 500 back. I said, God, thank you. I'm not doing that again because now I'm going too far. It started escalating. The first was $20, then it just started escalating.
Yeah, because they give you a little bit by little to make you feel like you're doing something. Keep the hope alive.
Yeah.
And then you end up, by the time you win anything anyway, you're either matching what you already spent, so you didn't make anything, or you're getting less than you spent.
Yep.
But you're feeling like you got something.
Yeah. One of my people's his last 17 racks lost it in the gambling spot. My people, she was spending 100 a day in the corner store playing numbers.
Listen,
it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's a real issue.
Numbers. My father used to run a number hole in Castle Hill. All right. Growing up, I thought my father was rich. Yes, I lived in the projects. I was delusional, but I thought my father was rich. As a kid, every time I could walk up the block and I get $100 bill, just straight cheese, and anybody who's with me get money too, I'm like, oh, my father got it. But that's the money of all of the people around.
It's their parents' money. Yeah, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. So the reason I brought this subject up is because, I'm just paying attention to the culture, right? I'm watching and I'm seeing certain things that are gradually graduating. And I pay attention because, I know what these things look like. Like we all know in the hood, you got in a 5-block radius, you got about 5 liquor stores, right? That's not by chance, right? And we know how the crack epidemic came about. Like nobody went and got that and knew what that was.
Right, knew what the impact would be.
It was shipped and put in a certain situation, right? And so we are targeted often as a people because we are in a desperate state as a culture.
Yeah.
They know that if you can get us intrigued by something that
or give us some sense of hope through that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That we're gonna run with it. And so I've been watching these podcasts. Every single podcast has a deal with a gambling service.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this and I can see the future.
Right.
No, nobody's going to be scratching and itching and shaking. Right. But people are going to be putting themselves in real traumatic situations.
Yeah, dire situations.
Because they're desperate to get money and they're losing money in the process.
So get rich or go broke trying. Basically, go broke trying. And I was thinking about its connection to crime because I know you brought up like crime, and I'm like, how? But it's like it's a fact. That's also a fact. It says so most gambling problems are small scale people, lower income gamblers, and when their gambling problem exceeds their actual income, their regular income, then it leads to theft, fraud, larceny, embezzlement. Because desperate time calls for desperate measures. We've all did things when we ain't really have it. I always say you can't go out of character, but some things like out of your character in order for you to be able to feed your family or feed yourself.
Well, addiction is addiction, right? So once you're addicted to something, that means that you're willing to do a lot of things that you may not have been willing to do prior to addiction. Right. And so once you're addicted to something, you're trying to make sure you can maintain that in your life. You can sustain that.
Right.
If you no longer have money to gamble, now you need money. Where that money coming from, right? So it puts this really funny energy out there. And the reason I wanted to speak of it is because we're speaking about the health of Black culture, and we're looking at this thing that has started to surge and is targeting, us who are desperate people.
Right.
What does this look like 10 years down the line?
Facts. You're absolutely right about that. And then over the last 5 years, all of the states that legalized gambling, it's been on the uprise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they know what they're doing.
Period. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The rich is going to stay rich and the poor is just going to get poorer.
Yeah.
If we're already in a state of lack, what does 10 years from now look like for us if we're looking to gambling as an option?
Right. I think it could lead to so many different things. It could lead to more mental health issues, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse. Like, there's a lot of things that can lead to, because either your safety is at risk depending on where you're gambling and who you're gambling with, or you really cannot make ends meet because of the big loss and the big risk you took because you just knew you was going to win.
Absolutely.
You knew you was going to hit this joint.
So this is back to the family structure, right? There's a breakdown, that's happening, right?
Right.
So, my issue, watching these podcasts push this agenda, should we be holding these podcasts accountable for the businesses they decide to jump in bed with and peddle to their people?
Yeah. Being that this is one of the fastest growing industries of information giving and sharing and entertainment, absolutely. You know what I mean? Because, like, for example, I was driving here this morning and the podcast come on and they like, yo, cash your tickets with us. Make sure you cash your tickets with us. And then you like, oh, I rock with this podcast, so I want them to make some money. I want to take it, and it becomes a thing, and it becomes way too accessible. And I don't think people really think about, sometimes you do think about the impact that you're having on your community when you make decisions, but a lot of us are in the individual mindset. You're not thinking about, like you said, 10 years from now, and the fact that you're making this more accessible and helping people with further addictions is not just entertainment. When it's people's bread, it's not just entertainment.
That's exactly my point. I think that this whole, like, especially the podcast space, right? It makes it makes people really feel like they're knowing these people. Like, you're getting to know them.
Exactly.
It feels close. They're in your living room on a regular basis, right? And you start to believe these are your people, right? And so you start to forget that they're not in the same position as you, right?
Yeah.
When you look at the Cams and the Maces, if they're gambling, not to say that gambling can't be an issue for people who are rich, but putting small amounts out when you have large amounts is very different than putting small amounts out when you have small amounts.
Oh, when you hardly have anything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they're just looking at it as another hustle.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it.
Right.
But the people who are, falling into that trap need to pay attention to the fact that y'all are in different tax brackets.
Right.
And so this is going to affect you differently.
Right.
And they might not even be gambling.
Right. But also they could be looking at it twofold. Like, yo, I'm giving people an opportunity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could come up. Like, some people have come up where you winning car money.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But look at the numbers. It's this glaring thing of that one person getting it. That's why even in the lottery, they make sure a part of their contract is they have to publicize the fact that they got it, because that pushes the agenda. Once you see somebody got it, you feel like it's a possibility, right? And then not another person gets it in mad years, right? Think about it, right? Think about Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson was knocking everybody out in a matter of seconds, you would ask somebody, would you get in the ring with him? And it's emphatically, no. The moment that Mike Tyson finally got stung, you ask people and they like, I do it.
Right.
Right. All you need is to see one person do it and you believe you can.
That's a fact. Damn, because I'm just making me think about the corner stores. You go in the corner stores, you see everything up, or who won the 10 rags, who won the 1,500, da-da-da-da. Now, on our podcast, when they start pushing it more, if they start eating and people cashing tickets with them or whatever percentage they get, then it's going to be like, are they going to start like, yo, so-and-so just won 15 or for the da-da-da, make sure you play with us. And
Cam already started doing
it. He did? Oh, man. Damn.
He shouts out anybody who won with his code. He shouts them out and he's like, yo, get on the winning team. Yeah, you know what I mean? So nigga is running towards that.
Yeah.
And
now they done lost the school clothes money.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But I want to be fair about it, right? I want to be fair about this discussion.
What's fair?
As you said, some people do win, right? Some people do win, and I don't want to make it as though this is something that can't be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. My issue isn't the doing of anything, as much as it is the excess.
Right.
So when we had the conversation, when we had the conversation about hip hop and the messaging, I didn't say I didn't want any of the negative, because in life there is negative, but I do need a balance, right? And so when you watching gambling flooding all of these podcasts, and podcasts are like, right now, podcast is the new radio and television.
Yeah, exactly.
Like both.
Together, right.
You know what I mean? So that's impactful as hell.
Right.
So when you're watching that and you're like, damn, like, all I'm seeing being sold is alcohol and gambling.
And it's people we rock with that we already look up to or whatever, or admire, really pushing this thing. And you're so right. Can we get some positive messaging? And I think it's really important that you brought up this discussion and to talk to other podcast hosts and owners. Like, it's really important that we're conscious of what we're pushing out to our people and the messaging that we give them and the resources that we are providing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we're just asking for folks to be conscious of that, as this is a growing industry, the same way music was, the same way fashion is, podcasting is. And please be conscious, be mindful, and be intentional about the messages that's going to our people. Balance it out.
Great words. The whole point of this, man, is not to target industries. It is really just to target a mindset around the building versus the demise of culture.
Right? But when one of the questions on our music episode was, about artists not feeling responsible for their, for their messages. It's up to the parents and this and this and that. So the same thing, people could be like, listen, somebody want to be addicted to gambling, that's their problem. You know what I'm saying? They be go to Gamblers Anonymous and all that kind of stuff, but we do have to care when we have power. And that's just, everybody just needs to understand that when you have power, it's really important that you dig deep inside yourself and figure and try to muster up some care for your community, because you do impact them. People do look up to you. People want to be you. So what is it that you're encouraging them to be?
One of the lessons in my life that changed my life is truly coming to the understanding. Like, people talk about it all the time, but people don't truly understand that we are all connected.
We are all connected, yes.
Like, truly
yes,
connected.
We are connected.
So people you don't know
right.
in this universe, you are still connected
That's right.
to. Right? So when we start making statements like mind your business, when we start saying things like
mind the business that pays you.
Yeah, when we're making all of these statements.
Right. But nobody minds their business. That's why podcasts are popping, and that's why radio shows.
But the reality is, we are each other's business, because what we do affects everyone, right? Even though you don't know how it's somebody's business, it's their business.
That's right.
Right? If I come out of my building and people are shooting up, and I get them up out of here, I'm supposed to do that. And if it's not my building and I'm walking past and I get them out of here, it's my business. Why? I care about the people in this community. I care about the children in this community. I don't want a child walking over here and seeing this. I don't want a child coming in contact with the syringe. There are things that I care about that don't just involve me personally. And I think more of us need to be like that. So to bring it all the way full circle, bring it back to gambling,
a symptom.
It's another thing, that we're doing out of desperation. And nothing that you do out of desperation ever works. It just doesn't.
Right. That's a fact. And then the thing is, like, we really don't need more vices. You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of shortages.
Thank you for saying that.
We have a lot of shortages, a lot of areas, a lot of gaps in our communities. You know what I mean? A lot of sickness. And one of the pervasive things is mental health. You know what I mean? So we need the powers that be to be speaking on those things, or promoting where those resources are like Andre 3000, his joint that you had it playing this morning. It was so soothing. I needed it this morning. I know you did, because I mean the stuff just kept on going. It's like, promote that, don't diss it. You know what I'm saying? That's some soothing, calming. You know what I mean? Like, we have gaps, and I think it's really important that we band together and try to fill those for each other.
Absolutely.
And not further help each other dig deeper into the holes that were already, dug for us.
Yes. The biggest thing in what you said is we don't need any more vices.
Nah.
We don't need any more vices. Even the people who feel a way about what I'm saying, right? I know that you can identify with trying to build with family, friends, people you've known for years, and not understanding, like, why these people, their mindset is a certain way that doesn't allow for us to move forward, move further, right?
Honestly,
I hear people
really
talk about it all the time, right?
Yeah.
I hear it all the time, even when watching It Is What It Is. Because yes, I watched the show. I love the show. But obviously I don't agree with everything. So, I hear Cam and May speak about, some of the mindsets of the circles and the people that they tried to help and different things like that. And if you understand that is connected to the vices, that is connected to the mental health, that is connected to the lack of ability to get out of our own way because we are in a desperate state, then you have to respect this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to respect it. I know a lot of people think one thing has nothing to do with the other, but the fact is it all has to do with each other. It does.
I feel like I think one thing that we really pushing for and we hope for, we want like a healthy movement. I think that's really what our whole culture currency thing is about. And the fact that we do have all of the currency, we have all of the resource, we have all of the movement to be able to do it. And we just need everyone that possibly can to
get on board. Especially those with these platforms. Like there's this young man, I think his name is D1. and he's like a gospel rapper, I believe, spiritual rapper or something. I don't necessarily follow him, but I do see some of his clips and sound bites.
I didn't know he was a gospel rapper. I know he was a rapper.
Yeah, I remember him going viral because he was calling out specific rappers.
Yeah, I remember that.
And people got upset. And he didn't say anything wrong. Now I understand that he made it personal when he said names, but sometimes you have to say names in order for it to get to the messenger.
I remember what you're talking about. Right, but I didn't dig. I don't know exactly what D1 said, but I remember folks being offended, and those who had loyalty to one particular person, they started, getting in and all that kind of stuff. And the thing about it is that we don't really be keeping it real with each other. You know what I'm saying? And when you get checked, I remember watching this show last night, and it's just like, somebody was getting checked about something. When you get checked, your first thing is defense. It's like you're fighting. And a lot of times, but what I always say to people, if I ever have to check somebody or say something to somebody, I say this to them. Listen, you do not have to tell me the truth. You don't have to keep it real with me. Just keep it real with yourself. That's it. You don't have to, I don't care about the truth. Just keep it real with yourself. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we fall short.
Not being able to hear the truth is problematic.
Right.
There's nothing natural about not being able to hear the truth.
That's right.
You should be able to hear it. You should be able to digest it, and then you should be able to operate in whatever fashion you decide once you can take in that information.
That's right. And it takes time.
But you need to be able to take in that information.
That's right. And the thing about change is that, I know we're not here trying to be all preachy, but we just have strong opinions about things, right? That's why we're here. And the thing about change is that it's not something that happens overnight. Even when you do realize it, it's still a struggle, a fight for yourself, because you're used to operating in a certain manner, and then you have a team of people that operate in those manners. So sometimes a lot of things have to change while you're changing. But again, change doesn't happen overnight. So be kind to yourself, but always be real with yourself.
Be real with yourself. You gotta be genuine. Yeah. Everybody's trying to be nice. And I'm being honest, I don't respect nice. Nice means agreeable.
Yep.
It doesn't mean what I think it means. It has nothing to do with being genuine. You need genuine people.
That's right.
The people around you who kind of get on your nerves because they always got something to say is usually the people who love you the most.
That's right. Yep.
You know what I mean? So
like my big brother. Oh my God.
I get on a lot of people's nerves. But let's be clear. Let's be clear. If I'm getting on your nerves with all that I have to say, it's because I love you.
Right.
I love us. And when I say us, I don't mean skinfolk. I mean kinfolk. Right? I mean the culture. I mean the people who want us to be better.
That's right.
I mean the people who are trying to push us in forward motion. That's our kinfolk.
That's right. That's
you know what I mean? So
right
I want y'all to understand there's absolutely no hate on my tongue. When I speak, especially if I'm calling your name, I'm calling your name because I have a lot of respect for you and I want you to show up for not only yourself, but just us as a unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to talk to someone who struggled with gambling for a long time and how they feel about the industries and how they feel about the accessibility to them and the impacts that it's had on their lives. I think this kind of episode right here, we need to speak to folks that definitely have experienced it, because I think you and I do a great job at staying away from addiction. We don't do that. No, we may have done things, but we're not letting nothing control us in that way. So we could talk very strongly from a strong standpoint, but we need to talk to someone that has that vice and has those has that issue to bring that perspective. Yeah, that's what I would like to do.
I would love that conversation. Shad, thank you for being with us. It takes a brave person to come out, and discuss their personal vices with the world. So I appreciate you sharing your time and your stories. For those who don't know, would you like to?
All right. So this is my youngest brother, Rashad, and we asked him to join us on this episode because as we said that we wanted to bring somebody in to actually talk about the particular subject of gambling, especially because Mahogany and I aren't big gamblers. So if we're going to discuss the subject, let's bring somebody in who is a gambler and has been doing it for many years. And knowing your history, I thought you would be a great interviewee for today. Yeah. I would like to know the beginning. How did you start gambling? Because I don't know that.
That's a good question.
I don't really know. I just know Rashard was gambling and wilding.
Nice.
Yeah. How did I start gambling? I think it was a block thing. I think it was more of me coming up where I came up from. You know, 123rd Street really was the era of the gambling spot. So I think it was more of me coming up on 123rd Street because I really was never a casino gambler.
Right.
I was
Okay.
a street gambler.
Right.
You know, when I go to Vegas, I don't really want to gamble.
Oh, okay.
I'm more of a street gambler. So
Okay.
there's a big difference. You know? So it's more where I came from.
Okay.
You know, how I grew up.
It was part of the culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's interesting. I never heard like
The
I know
distinction.
that everybody has their niche
Yeah.
area, but
That's
that was an
interesting.
interesting perspective.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big difference.
Yep, it is.
It's a big difference between
Right.
casino gambling and street.
What would you say the
Absolutely.
difference is?
The reason why I say it's different is I lived in Vegas. You know, so when I first moved to Vegas, I didn't know nothing about casinos. So I was never gambling, and I was going through a withdrawal because I want to be in the, in the casinos you don't have
CeeLo.
CeeLo. We don't have exactly. You don't
Yeah.
have CeeLo. You got the regular, blackjack and things
Yeah.
like that. That's not something I was into because we didn't have that in the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
The
Right.
hood don't have that.
Right.
The hood just had those money holes
Yeah.
and things like that when it comes down to just dice.
Right.
Yeah,
So
dice
yeah, that's
game.
all I really knew. It really is a big difference as in what kind of gambler you are.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, because then we also got our poker players
Yeah.
in the street, and you playing his poker in the
Then
spots too.
nowadays, now it's the new gambling. As a bet, fantasy gambling,
Yeah.
betting on sports and things like that. So it's levels.
Right.
It's really kind of levels. of
Yeah,
gambling.
right, and it's right, and it's layered. Yeah.
Honestly, it's always low points. It's never if you think you high on gambling, it's a mind thing. You're never high on gambling because you chasing. It's basically like you're a crackhead. You're chasing that high. It's more of a sport for me. It's not more of trying to win money. You know what I mean? You want to win money, of course, but it's when I'm gambling, I'm just passing time, just hanging out, just I don't go to the gambling spot. It never really was a time where I probably went to the gambling spot like I'm going to gamble. It was really my hangout spot.
Okay.
And then it turns into us gambling. And,
Right.
And then even so, it comes fun because we end up, giving money back at the end of the
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? End of the night.
What you mean by
You know
that?
what I'm
Explain
saying?
that.
So whoever wins, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna help out the next person. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a fun thing. It's more of a more of a fun thing. Now it gets crazy at times. I can get to that. Let's get to those stories, but for the majority of the time, it's more of a sport for me. You know what I mean? I can't speak for everybody else, but just passing time.
Got you. But why in passing time? Why lose? Why do people lose so much money in just passing time? Why is that the choice? Yeah. Because
it's gambling. I mean, I guess you become, addicted to something. It's just addiction. It's an addiction. You don't think about the money you lose, and you more think about, I just lost that $20, but if I bet this $20 again, I could probably win $300. You know what I mean? So you gotta keep putting those kind of things in your mind. So now that the $20, the $100 you had end up being $40, and now you just kind of chasing.
now it's like, man, I might as
Now
well
you
just
chasing.
keep going.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're chasing. So then again, when you start chasing, you probably got $40 in your pocket. And you probably win the next $60 bet. Now you got back $100, and now you think you got $200, but you really got that $100.
money.
Yeah, right, right. You're like, no, I got 200. No, you don't.
It's,
Right.
It's honestly it's addiction that I wish I didn't have. I definitely an addiction that I definitely had coming up as a kid.
Do you think it has impacted anything? Like, do you feel like it impacted the way you take care of your responsibilities or anything at any point?
Yes, absolutely. It was times, like I said, living in Vegas. I would go, to the casinos on my lunch break. You know what I mean? Instead of eating.
Word?
Yeah, it's just my boss would take us to the casino. That's just how Vegas is. You know what I mean? We would go to the casino on our lunch break. So that ain't living in Vegas and you are addicted to gambling is not somewhere you would want to be. You know what I mean? Because everything is just right there.
I thought that when you first moved to Vegas, I thought it was going to be an issue right off the jump, but you had to get used to it.
Yeah, it wasn't because I wasn't into the casinos. You know what I mean?
And the
like,
machines.
I was there for like 8 months before I
Got
actually
it.
went into a casino.
Got it.
So I ain't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm one of those that I would be scared to go to a table and I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? My high pretty much was I probably made like $15,000 in one night. But the low is I'm losing it right back because I'm feeling like it's not my money, so I'm the next day is gone.
That's a good.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I just got this, so whatever, and I'm gonna play with this
wasn't my
now.
money in the first
it's
place.
Right.
not my money in the first place. So it's just like the addiction to gambling. That's when the addiction come back in. I mean, I'm the type of gambler that I'm not leaving out of the gambling spot with $100 in my pocket. I'm not leaving out of the gambling spot with $500.
You might as well not have nothing.
Yeah, I might as well not have nothing. I'm losing everything. I'm taking it to the $5. You know what I mean? That $5 will take you to the top.
Okay, so right.
You know what I'm saying?
So when do you stop though? At that night, like when do you walk away? Like I know you
when
give
I'm
some
starting
walk.
to go to the ATM. When I gotta go to the ATM, that's when I probably start. It all depends on.
Start
But what if you
thinking
having a
about
it.
good
It all
night?
depends.
When do you leave if you having a good night? When you say, I'm out right now. My night is going good. Cause I feel like people don't know how to leave on a good night.
That's why he like.
Tricky. It's
That's what
tricky.
I'm saying. And
It's
then you
tricky.
can't just leave because you want to give people a chance
That's
to
why-
win their
that's-
money
that's
back.
why
It's too
tricky.
much.
That's why it's tricky because there's a times when it was a night when I won $5,000. I got $5,000 sitting on the table, but you don't want to walk away if you don't want to look like
'Cause you got
that.
everybody
You know what I'm
money.
saying? You don't want to look like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you want to give people a chance to win back their money. So everything, you know what I mean? Because you can walk away at any given moment.
Yeah.
You can pick your money up.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
walk
but that
out
could turn into a
door.
beef, right?
Exactly.
That could turn
You know what I'm
into.
saying? That's not, we don't do that.
That's not the
See?
culture.
You know what I mean? That's not it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A new person walking in and do that, we can understand that. But if you've been there, you're
Yeah.
in the gambling spot, you got to give somebody a chance to win. So
Yeah.
that money stops when that person walks away. You know what
Wow,
I'm saying? Once that's really when.
Like, damn, he lost most of his. He
It's
left.
over.
I'm good. I don't got to give all y'all a
usually
chance.
When the gambling stops is when everybody lost. You know, that money is piled up to one person. And then it's like the thrill. It's the thrill of it.
It's
You know
just
what I'm
fun as
saying?
hell, yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fun, man.
Man.
Yeah.
It's more than just trying to win money.
So what you think about the fact that now it's in everybody's houses? Like they don't have to go nowhere to bet.
Yeah, it's different now. I mean, I think it's a good thing though. And I mean, honestly, I just think it gives other people opportunities of making money. I think it gave us more of an opportunity of people gambling without worrying about losing their life. Because the gambling, man, I've been there. I done seen people get shot up. You know what I'm saying? So I think it helped because it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the gambling is just not going nowhere. It's in everything. You know what I mean? Sports is it's everywhere. You know what I mean? So we ain't got it. Back in the days, we had to go to the number hole. You know what I'm saying? You want to play, when you want to play something, you got to go to the number. You got to go in the basement to play something. Now you just do everything on your phone, everything like that.
And you comfortable at home.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more safe because it ain't going nowhere.
The safety portion physically, right? But what do you think about the lack of safety when it comes down to limitations now that it's in your house?
Like the security of your financial
your
security.
financial security.
And you're not putting up your cash. It's like it's
right
on the
there.
card. It's you know what I'm
It make
saying?
it look, it's real easy to be like,
Yeah.
It is real easy because I'm into the sports betting. So like, I would like my limit really is just I would add $100 to the account and try not to add no more. But it's it's hard because when you lose a bet. You just chase it.
Period, no matter
You
what it
just
is.
chase it.
Yeah.
Just want to chase.
No matter what it is.
You're going to chase it.
And me and Mahogany's discussion about gambling, we felt like all of the podcasts really shouldn't be just promoting it like that because is leaving people vulnerable. I mean, it's making people more addicted. You know what I'm saying? And I said some folks may say, "Hey, I'm giving them opportunity to win money," but it's like, but also give some financial advice on what to do, because it's like we out here just doing this and doing this. What about ways to invest or ways to gamble responsibly? Like, what are some things that could come with that now that it's expanding and is in every household, is on every phone?
But the
You know
other
what I mean?
part is like you said, giving people an opportunity to make some money. But right before you said giving people, people getting the opportunity to make some money, you also said you never really making the money. So are you really giving people opportunity to make money?
That's true. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's
or the illusion. You selling an illusion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a mind
So is it really doing us good or is it doing us harm?
Gambling is definitely not doing us good. Absolutely doing the community, especially nowadays. Especially nowadays. Just as I said, it's it's more safer.
It's safer. It is
in that way, but it's definitely doing the community more harm than how it was back in the day.
And I was just thinking too that one thing about gambling is fun. So I actually do like to gamble sometimes, but my gambling is very calculated and very careful. I don't lose over $60.
You got control of yourself.
I got control of myself. Even if I am winning, it's still a stopping point because I don't want to lose what I've won. And then I always make sure that whatever I put in, I make sure that I put that back in my pocket. So anything I do lose, it wasn't mine anyway. You know what I'm saying? So then whatever profit is 100% profit. So I'll break it down like that. But but anyway, but one of the things you did ask about was solutions. And I'm thinking like anybody involved, like especially with the podcast and stuff, if we could just all put up disclaimers about things. Like if you want to do it, just like listen, brothers, listen, sisters.
That's a good idea.
Do not spend your last. Do not, make sure you take care of your business first. If you do win, don't throw it all back up. Save this amount, like give some advice or something like that where we can, where we're helping our folks with their mental stance around gambling and all of that kind of stuff. Like help them be able to balance it just off of your words and your advice. Maybe we could throw some advice there about that.
I like that. I like that as an option. Helping their intentions. Right. Support their intentions. Because, I would rather us find more positive things to promote. But if you're already in it, then that is a great compromise.
Yep.
So that, you are showing some level of responsibility for the culture.
And I want to make a point because I know people will be like, oh, yeah, they saying that now because they didn't get those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know. But let me tell you something. With my organization, this is when Chase was giving out subprime loans and doing all that kind of stuff. We were able to get a grant from Chase for $200,000, and we said no. You know what I mean? Because we didn't want to be the face, have our face up and Chase banks and acting like we really supported them and stuff like that. Now, was I happy about that decision that me and my partner made and I was mad, right? Like, come on, $200,000, but it taught me so much about integrity. You know what I mean? Because we had that. We got that tenfold. We got that a bunch of times after that. You know what I mean? But we didn't sell our soul or sell our community for a buck. So I do have experience like that and have made hard decisions to say no to big money or medium money, however you see it, that, that's all relative for the sake of our community.
And same here. I've had that in multiple areas of my life, walking away from life-changing money for my principles. So I'm not speaking from a place of not getting it. The people who know me personally ask me to this day, like, do you regret walking away from some of those things, those opportunities? And I can truly say no.
Right.
I don't regret it.
Right.
I look at myself very good in the mirror. The quality of life that I live because of the decisions I make is what I value. So, yeah, I get that sometimes that rock in that hard place get real hard.
Yeah, right.
But
it's tight.
But you got to stand for something.
Yeah,
you got to stand.
You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything.
I think it was a great conversation.
I think so too, as always.
I'm Mahogany.
I'm Ish.
And this is Culture Currency.
Where culture
is the value.
Great talk.
Yeah.
As always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.